everyone, welcome to the tutorial here at the Coloring Oasis, and this tutorial will be a step-by-step color along using Prismacolor Premier pencils from the 150 set in Joshua Dunbar's Easy Spring. And in fact, ironically, the picture we are doing is the one on the very front, which is funny because I didn't realize that until just now. Yet I had already picked out this picture. So the color palette I picked out is more of a pastel color palette. It doesn't really match what's in here, but this does give me some good ideas. Taking a little different approach. As always in these Patreon tutorials, you'll have attached to each part, if it's a part 1, 2, 3, you'll see a PDF attachments or photo attachments of my color palette that I do here. This one I'm filling out as I go. I didn't get time to put everything in advance as far as swatching in the colors. So we're going to start on these and I'll fill it in as we go. But by the time I'm done, you'll see the full attachment. Also in the body of the Patreon, I will list out all of the colors being used. A few other things you might need will be your Prismacolor Premier blending sticks, colorless blenders. This is absolutely essential for good quality effects. They're not expensive at all. I need to sharpen one up. I always use for my Prismacolors my Doll 133. It's the absolute best pencil sharpener for Prismacolors. The tips don't break. It works every time. In fact, I use this for all of my high-end pencils. Just nothing compares, like, at all. It's bottom line. You need a soft brush to wipe away crumbs without smearing with your hand, which has heat and oils. And that's generally about it. It's always nice if you have a Derwent eraser. It's not necessary. I didn't have one the first 6 years I was coloring, but believe me, I use it all the time now that I have one. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And all of the books in Patreon here, I will come around and color in time and time again. So it's not always going to be like a one-hit wonder. Just so you know. So this is super sweet picture. And all of my pencils are previously sharpened except for my blending stick. And I'm going to use my off mat for that, which is electric. And on your colorless blenders, you don't need them necessarily sharp. You want it more of a flat point so you can touch it and it doesn't hurt your finger. So you can get a more wide surface for a nice smooth blending. So for Prismacolor pencils, I always use the Prismacolor ones. For all the other waxy pencils in my tutorials, I use the Color ones, which is this one. All right. So I have a yellow background, which is just this little area in here because I wanted it nice and bright and popping. And I really only have 2 colors I picked for that, which is Deco Yellow and Lemon Yellow. And they're not that different. I think we'll use a little bit of white as well. But you can see here, not a huge difference. I mean, the lemon yellow has almost a tad more citron lime touch to it, I guess you could theoretically say. But anyway, that's one we're going to start with, is the lemon yellow, and mine's getting down pretty low, as you can tell. So I'm just going to we're going to start here at the interior of the edges and work our way in. And we're going to leave a little room for some white, kind of almost like a half circle. So I'm just going to color in a nice soft pattern, kind of outline this bird here, but don't go all the way. Like, don't fill in all of your white space. So just doing maybe about a little less than half of the space. And this goes all over here to the right of the duck's head, you can see. And we'll do along the beak as well. I'm just kind of using some nice soft to medium little squiggles. This one's so pale that you're not going to really see any line or pattern no matter how you put it down. So it doesn't really matter. I'm going to outline the beak all the way to the mouth, let's just say. And then we'll come on over here, we'll do the same thing. We'll do inside these little tulips. We'll do right here. So we're just filling in any white areas here. They don't need to go under the tulips because that really would go into the other color. There we go. That seems sufficient. Make sure you get everything there in the little nooks. Fill in a little bit more right here. Really pretty easy. I'm gonna get right here again by the duck's head. I don't think any of this is all objects. Okay, so we're gonna now move on to the deco yellow. And we're gonna blend in halfway over the other color, or maybe like a fourth. And we're gonna bring it into its own white space, bring it downward. So in other words, just blend a little bit, overlap where the other color ended, and bring it down. And we're gonna go under the tulips. And I'm using a light pressure, and then we're not gonna go all the way. But I am using a light pressure. We're gonna do a little white, so we'll have a little bit of a, maybe like a little glow effect. We'll see if it works the way I envision it. I'm just kind of lightly filling in this color here. So you see how it's kind of white right there? So I'll go over that again. Now, where you see it stops and it's white, I'm going to overlap that a little with barely like a fairy tickle, just a teeny more pigment, but a really light tint of yellow. So when we overlap it with white, it'll be like a gradual transition into the white. Just leave a good amount of white strip, like right about there. Barely touching paper here. Okay, now let's get up here. We can do this whole area by the tail. And then we'll go down. Okay. I'm going to fill in. And so we'll just leave this white ring right about here and do that really light touch here. Just barely touching. Okay, so you see a little white ring. It's pretty subtle, you can see. Now we can touch it with the white. Oh, that is, oh, white, here it is. So I'm going to fill in the white area, of course, but I'm going to overlap it with where we did that really last lightest touch of the yellow. So kind of blend it in like a soft glow. And I'm going to use a little bit of a firmer pressure here. So I'm blending this in. And we almost don't need our Prismacolor blender for this because the yellows are so light, and if you're using a white with some really light colors, the white itself almost acts as a blender. The technique is a little different, or the outcome, let's say, but so I'm just going to keep circling over. In fact, I'm going to bring it upward very light, a lot lighter, and go over that last color. Kind of an overlap. So we're using the white almost to be like the blender down here. Gives it a little bit more of like a pastel look here. There we go. We can do the same here. We can fill this in and overlap it. Now that white glow will stand out more as being purposeful, you know, once we have all the colors in. It'll make more sense. Right? Go up here. I'm just going to touch a little white over the brighter lemon yellow just to soften it up a little. Just using it to kind of cut down on the brightness so it's a little more pastel. These pencils do work really well in Amazon basic paper. Okay, that's really all we need to do. It's that simple. We're trying to keep this fairly easy. Okay, so we can put these colors aside. Just make sure you ran over everything with your white pencil so it's nice and soft and blend it in. All right. Okay, where is my basket that goes with this one? Don't know where you are. So I'm putting this here. Okay. Next, I would like to work on, well, we can do what we've filled in so far. Let's work on the leaves on the left, the pointy ones, which are these. Parrot green, true green, light green, and white. And from these, you'll realize that aquamarine, light aqua, oh, here it is. I couldn't find my colors. Parrot green. Okay. So we'll start with the parrot green. It's the darkest, you can see. And what I'm going to do with the pencils is I'm going to kind of give it a natural pattern and just kind of put everything in like a non-specific way. So for example, I'm going to very softly, I'm just going to start putting that a little bit in this corner here. And then I'm going to maybe put a little at the tip. Maybe a little here down the side. And maybe like a little in the middle. Just like adding it kind of randomly. See how I did that? Let's do the same with this little one. We're just going to add a little maybe at the base. A little here, a little there. And we're going to create some layers. So darken over it. Let's do the same here. A little bit up here, touch a little there, a little bit everywhere. And go back over it so it's dark enough. Okay, let's go do this one. All right. Okay, let's hit this one. So I'm just going to retouch. Okay, so that's really all we are doing at the moment. Let's go into the next darker color, would be the true green. And we're going to kind of just start blending some of this in, and like a little bit will overlap, but our goal is to kind of hit some different white spaces. A little bit of blending in. We're going to have nice gradient of color because leaves, you know, aren't flat. They're multi-dimensional as far as like they have all these patterns of different colors and textures. Just putting a little in a few different spots, maybe overlap your other color a little bit, but leave some white for the final color. back up here. So you see I'm just kind of blending and adding more color, and not like any specific rhyme or reason. Great. Now you can still see like some white, which means we have room for the final color, the light green. Oh, my back is killing me. In this case, we're gonna start blending in. Like we might leave a little white spot on one or two just to put a little white for like a highlight, but we're just gonna kind of start blending over all the colors. Leave one area that has like a little white, maybe go around it. So like maybe right here, we'll leave white. So we're gonna use this and put this color in, kind of over everything, kind of blend some stuff. We will be using our blender sticks on this, so you'll see the effect that this makes. Let's do here. Maybe put in leave a little white area right there. Okay, now let's add in a little white to those spots. So like a little right here, a little right here, a little right here. And this will make a difference when we go to blend everything. A little right here. A little right there. Alexa, set alarm for 5 p.m. I have to go.
Alarm set for 5 p.m.
Something in the oven at 5. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the dark and just do a few touch-ups. Once you blend out with the blender stick, it almost puts like a film on it, so it's hard to lay more color on top of that after. So you want to have your full amount of pigment in, ideally before. You can sometimes touch up a little on top, but not much, and you have to kind of really work it. So I'm going to darken it in just a few spots where we have the darker green, the parrot green. Okay, just a few, you know, this actually gives it a little more texture, so to speak. Let's get some true green next. Again, same thing. We're going to add in, don't hit the white areas, just add a little bit here or there around it. There's still white, you're seeing like white tooth here and there, which means you can still get some color in. Prismacolors really allow us to blend in layers. Okay, then the final color, last time we'll do the light green. Then, since we're repeating the process, final time, touch in a little white, some of those white areas. Basically, we did 2 rounds of the same process. You see how it built out more color. The white is important. Okay, now let's take our Prismacolor blender. So with this, the goal is to blend in the lightest areas first and then work your way outward, because if you start in the dark area and blend down, it'll pull that dark color right on over, right? And you want to make sure there's nothing other colors on the end of it, which there isn't because this is brand new, but you'll see after a while, if it starts to gunk up, you want to use your nail, just pick off a little because it doesn't blend as well when it's gunked up. So let's start on this one here. I'm going to blend right over the white spot flat. Wherever I see the white spots, let's just blend first. Now, with these sticks, you do have to use a firm pressure. I push straight down. That's why you want a flat end. And that is what's going to give it a nice matte finish. And what it does is it compresses down all the little paper tooth so it's fully flat. That's why you can't get any more color in once you're done blending. If you were to imagine paper tooth is microscopic and it's kind of like open, this presses it down and closes it almost. Okay, so we got a lot of those white areas. Now we can just kind of blend some of the lighter green areas. And once you get a little bit of this blender material on it, it's harder to drag any dark over it. So then you can go ahead and do the whole thing. So you see it, if it gets all gunked up, just kind of pluck it off every now and again. Now we're going to go in for a full blend with pressure. So I'm going to do one leaf here, doing the middle, but then I'm going to go up and down the whole thing using all my hand pressure. There we go. Use your brush. Make sure you get all the tooth and any little white area that's left that didn't have any color on it. Oh, nice and hard. Okay, let's do over here. And there are lots of different ways to do leaves, as you can imagine. This is just one fun way I like to do when I'm using a lot of colors. And I like leaves to not look flat and dull. I'm going to do the whole thing here. And it is taking up, you can see, that's wax. Those little crumbs you're getting. That's evidence that what you're doing is working. So I'm going to go straight down till the whole thing looks nice and smooth and flat and seamless. It's gunked up. And that is what I use in almost all my pencil tutorials, and you can see why I get the results that I do. It's similar to if you were to use like a liquid odorless mineral spirits on certain mediums. It gives that same kind of effect, but it's, you know, dry, obviously. Less messy and less work. All right. There we go. So this is just a straight up dry blending. So that looks good. Your hand might cramp a little, but it does get better over time. It's like any other muscle, you have to work it. So I'm going to do this side. Full on pressure. I'm holding the book down, going up and down the leaf pretty hard. You can hear how hard I'm doing it, but it's really worth it. I love the look of it. Okay, you start getting crumbs. There you go. And this one. Sorry if my camera shakes when I shake the table real hard like this. All right. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 4:56.
Oh, I got 4 minutes, darn it. All right. Okay, so we're basically done. Like if you were to take the white, sometimes I'll go in with a little white paint pen and brighten up the highlight areas. If you were to try to really put that now over your blender material, it won't show very well. I mean, you can push really hard, you can get it to show a little, but it's almost like slippery now. It's like trying to walk on an oiled piece of saran wrap in bare feet or in Crocs. Okay, there. I love how those look. And sometimes you can put a little yellow in there too, and where we have the white for some like yellow highlight. Okay, so we are done with those 3 colors. I like how that looks. You can take the darkest one if you want to create a little more shadow right at the very base. If you can get any of that color to stay. Okay. Yeah, I can get a little more on here, but then I feel like I'm just seeing how, yeah. Then I just end up having to blend it again though, so. but you can build a couple more layers with this if you have to. It's just the work just intensifies. All right. Okay, so the next we're gonna work on is this pink flower. I have pink, deco pink, blush pink, and white. It's a big, pretty pale flower, not a whole ton of shadows and tones. Again, I'm trying to keep this a nice pastel picture, nice and soft colors. So I think we'll start with the pink. Flowers are pretty easy. I have a zillion ways to do them. I'll try to think of it. I'll try to do this a similar, easy way to what we were just doing. So it says rose, but it's pink. Sometimes on my card I write rose, sometimes I write pink, but it's basically 929, PC 929. We'll do the flower. I'll go put my casserole in the oven real quick. Okay, we are gonna move on to our pretty flower. I had to pause it there, took my dinner. So we're gonna work from the bottom of each petal upward. Like if you look at the flower, this is the bottom going toward tips. Here's the bottom going toward the tips. You always do darkest at the bottom and lightest going up. So I'm gonna shade it here, the base. And we're gonna do a soft gradient. A little bit darker at the very base. And we're gonna go up about a third of the way, so just about this much. And when you get to the end of where you're stopping, that's when you want to overlap just a little with a tiny bit of that light tickle I was telling you before. So when we put in the next lighter pink, it'll overlap and blend nicely. So you start darker with pressure and then go lighter as you get higher up. And then we're going to stop right about here. Okay, let's do the same here. It's a little awkward angle, some of these petals. I'm going to kind of go maybe a little bit like this, just up this side right here. Then we'll go a little lighter up. So basically I just lighten my pressure the higher I go up, if that makes sense. And then you can go back down, do a little bit more darker on the bottom. And we sometimes will do 2 rounds of this, depends on how it looks. Okay, let's do here. I'm gonna go darker as we put it in, and then darken it up a little more at the base here. All right, gonna go on right on down here. And then you see there's like a little dark shadow there. I'm gonna put a little bit of this dark in kind of straight up because you see a little of that grayscale already there from the artist. So like right here. And then we're going to kind of go across the top where the other petal ends. A little bit right here. Just soften up. If your hand's cramping, it means you're doing too hard, just lighten your hold and relax your hand. Then you can naturally get like that lighter pressure. Hey! Excuse me. Sneezy. All right, lighter. Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit right here. A little bit right here. Then this one, we're gonna start here and come out this way, right? So we're kind of doing it upside down because this is still the inside base of the flower petal. Right. and lighten, kind of gentle tickle, real light as we go up more. And then darker, more pressure down at the base. Same thing right here. All right, I'm gonna do side here. A little darker. Go up a little bit. Okay, we're gonna go right here. We're gonna do this one here. Straight up, kind of at the tip, just a little where some of that line already is from the artist. I'm gonna just shade this in and lighten up here a whole lot, lighten it up. All right, let's do this one. We're kind of going this way, right? So we're gonna do right here and we're gonna go up that way. So this one we got the base. Okay. And go upward. All right. Okay, this one here. So see how this is dark here and we're going light up this way? We don't want to do dark here and go light that way because we'll have dark to dark back to back. You want contrast. You want the light from this one to touch the dark on this one. So we're going to do right here. All right, so next we're gonna go to the blush pink. Blush pink. And what we're doing is we're basically blending into this pink and going upward. Oh wait, I need to see I missed a little bit of the lines I wanted to add right here. The veins in the darker color going all the way up. Okay. So let's start on this little one. So basically, this is where the other one ends. We're going to go down just a little, like where it starts to lighten up, like just overlapping a little. And that's where we start blending it. So that you start tying in the two colors. That's why we lightened it up toward the end, because we're going to over blend. I'm doing like almost like little circles. And then we're going to go up just a little. So another thing is I'd like to leave little streak for some white on there and a few spots. So basically leave this lighter area up here for our lightest pink. So maybe right in the middle. So what I'm going to do, well, you'll see. So let's just start overlapping it and bringing it up into that white space. So I'm going to kind of leave like a gap. Maybe it'll be like a circle right there. It'll have like a white spot for a little highlight. We're going to put a little white on the tips too. Let's do that same thing here. Start blending. Circle. Maybe we'll leave a white spot. So put like a circle and then we're going to go around it. Or just do really like pale in certain areas. We can. So we're just going to kind of blend this in all over. Let's get over in here and do the same thing. Do this one. I have to turn my hand because it's going out to the side. So I'll just leave a little area there for a little bit of white. Or just kind of go around it. So this one we're going to start going downward. Blending in. This one. Bringing it up just a little. I think we got them all. We didn't get this one. We want to go up just a little bit. Okay, so let's leave room for our lightest pink. We'll do the deco pink here. And we're gonna obviously finish overlapping the last color all the way up, and I'm gonna try to leave a little bit of a white tip. So not gonna go all the way to this very, very top. I was thinking of leaving it white tipped. Maybe go around. We can always use a Posca pen too to get in a little bit of that white. Just gonna, and you can kind of blend this all over. This helps tie all the colors together too. But you want it to get lighter the higher up you go. Okay. Here too, we're gonna deco pink is more like a baby infant pink, like a baby girl. Pale pink. We're gonna go almost to the top here. Just leave a little bit room for some white. All right, I'll do the same here. Let's go down here. Okay. And the white helps, it keeps it kind of like brightened up, and then helps the eye get drawn to it a little bit. Whew. Okay, so we'll add in our white pencil on these kind of few white spots we wanted, and then on the tips we are going to go back and do a little bit more shading. So try to get all along the tips. It's okay to blend over that light pink just a little bit. Go downward. Don't go down too far, just going down a little bit. Just fill in the white. We are going to use our blender stick. Oh, I missed one, it looks like. A little bit white there. So then I want you to take the dark pink again, and we want to deepen up some of this pink at the base of each one so it stands out a little more, right? Create some stash. I'm going to do little tiny circles right at the base, and I'm going to do firm pressure. Little bits. Okay, down here too. There we go. See how we're darkening this up? We're building layers. Gonna do the inside here. Let's do the inside over here. There. All right. So I think we got a good amount of extra pigment added. Let's get to the blush pink again. Let's blend up, put in a little bit more as well. Just above that, and kind of blend at the edge of where we ended our dark addition we just added. We're just reblending a little more, adding in more color. Bringing this thing to life more like in the middle here. Right here. You can do the second layer pretty quick. You're just adding a little more color. Okay. Then we can do the deco pink again also. And same thing, we're just gonna add some more here toward the top. We already did put some white there, so you're just kind of, you might be overlapping, touching a little bit of that white, but don't go all the way to the top. And it's okay to overlap some of your darker colors as well, because the lighter colors can function as really nice gentle blenders to help kind of dull out the sharp contrast of colors when they transition from one to another. I'm gonna go up here. Okay. So, and we're gonna use the blender stick still, don't forget. So then let's touch one last time the white, and let's get to a blending. The white is just at the tips to overlay the second layer of that lighter pink we just added. All right. So let's go ahead and blend this out. So there's going to be some green on here from when we did the green. So first oh, that's my wrong one. Yeah, green. First, a quick sharpen can get the gunk off, and use your nail to pick off any green until it's clear, because you don't want to streak green right over your pink. Although that would probably look pretty. Okay, so we'll start at the white tips and work our way down. You want it flat. Work our way down inside each petal. All right, pick off any gunk. Gonna get the white areas at the tip first. Here's your brush. If you see any harsh gradient, soften it up with this blend now. Once you get a little bit of the stuff on there, you can go all over. Blend all over. All right. Your hand will get a little tired. Sorry about the camera jiggle. I'm just really trying to blend that good. Okay. I love this effect. Okay, we're going to blend over here. Using a hard. My hand starts to cramp sometimes. I know I'm doing that right. And I also try to do little circles and not like big strokes. Missed an area here. Gonna get the gunk off. And some pink will get back over the white, but it's light, which is actually nice because it gives it a nice tint. Looks natural. All right. So, because once I go back when I go down to the dark, I work my way back up, and then a teeny bit of that darker pink, just a little, will touch over it. And because we've already pressed down some of the tooth because we started in the light area, it's just enough to give it a tint, which is nice. There we go. All right, let's go over here. All right. Gotta shake out my hand, pick some of the gunk off the end. Pretty flower. It's pastel. This is a 4-tier. I call it 4-tier, so it's just 4 colors. And then we'll end up putting a little white Posca in there a little later for a little bit of detailed work and brighten up those white edges. Right now we're just trying to make it look soft and natural. All right. All about done, I think. This one has a little more white on than the others, but I need to blend it a little more. Make sure I'm getting it all in real nice and good. Great. Did I get this one? I don't remember. It takes about 5 minutes for something this size to get it looking good. All right, well, we are about done. Like I can see here, a little more white than I wanted, so I can touch my pencil over that blender just a little if I really want to. Really try to rub in a little white at the end. Just, now that I run the white back over, it's giving it kind of a soft look because I already put the blender material on it. It's almost like waxy now. Just getting a little bit more at the tip and then running it all the way over. A little more at the tip. Running it over everything. It'll give it a nice waxy white glow. This whole thing is such a process, but I like it. Okay, we're done with our flower. Alexa, how long left on timer? I should go check my food.
You have 3 minutes
3
and 40
minutes.
seconds left on your 31
All right.
minute timer.
So I have, next we're going to do the sign, this big, huge sign with these 4 colors. I'm going to be going to finish my dinner now. We'll get the center and these leaves. I got to add, pull my colors for the rest of these in the meantime, and we'll be back. For you, it'll just be seconds, but I'm going to pause, and then we shall continue. And I just realized I missed one little spot right there. Okay, let's zoom out. We can see how everything's looking together. Starting to get a feel for it now. All right. Okay, we're going to move on to coloring the big duck's beak now, because those are the colors that I pulled. Burnt ochre, orange, yellowed orange, and Spanish orange. And I put these 2 swatches on the wrong lines, so swap that. Yellowed orange should be above, and I did that wrong, but we'll see on the card. My palette's a little wrinkled, but we're going to start with the burnt ochre here, which is this. It's just for a little shadowing on this gal's beak, and we're going to put it mostly around in the shadowy areas. Kind of like where we see this line here. A little bit up here. Just a little outline right there. Okay, not too much. Let's go to the orange color. I looked at a lot of pictures of real ducks' beaks, and there's a lot of variety, but the standard white cream duck with an orange beak, it's kind of a combination of an orange and a pale yellow and a cream. So I'm going to blend this orange into the burnt ochre. There's ochre. I think it's ochre. Down here. Okay. Just a little. Next, we will be adding in the yellowed orange. Maybe I did do it right. Is the Spanish orange really that yellow? I think I added canary yellow there. That just doesn't look right. I don't know. Anyway, we're adding in yellowed orange next for the main color, the beak. Let's blend over the edge of the orange. Just filling in the rest of this white space, most of it, not all, obviously. We're gonna add a little, we gotta still add in the yellow. I'm gonna get the tip of the beak here. Gonna add this in. Just a little around the tongue. Okay, see, we're leaving plenty of white. And then lastly, the Spanish orange. We're gonna put that in. Might leave a little white highlight there just to match our theme. Just a little bit right there on the top of the beak, maybe right at the very top. I want to get some of that yellow tinge in, so start blending into the orange, the different oranges kind of gently. I'm going to go around the tongue. Great. Good. Left two little white spots. Let's add back in the burnt ochre. Darken up this spot here, and then down there, right here, here. There we go, just a little bit more. Let's go again to the orange. I'm going to put in a little more orange here. We'll put in the yellowed orange. Just a little, and then the Spanish orange. See how I've left a little room for the white, so let's just tickle this in lightly around the white spots we left, but overlap some of the others in the nose hole. Make sure we're building in that layer of yellow, and again around the tongue. forgot to pull a pink for the tongue, but I will get that. Okay, let's do the white. Mine has a little blue on it. Oh, I just realized I don't think I fully finished my sign. Maybe I did. I'll have to look at it later. Oh no, it finally died. It did. Okay, so we're gonna use a black artist pen to go over the letters. I'll give you some other tips as well. Let's blend in that beak. All right, now let's take our lovely blender stick. Pick off any blue that might be on there. Mine has some blue. And I'm gonna blend here in this white area. White and yellow. And then start blending it nice and creamy. All right, nice and lovely blended. I'm going to take that little white and just, it kind of made it more, that white with the oranges made it look a little more yellow there, but that's what we wanted, like a yellowish glow. A little bit inside the tongue there. Perfect beak. That looks very nice. I'm happy with that. Okay, so we're done with these colors. Now we can do the bird up here. Or no, we'll do the mom bird. Well, you know, I have the top bird with these pink tones and the mom bird in the blue tones, but since we have a blue here, these blues might be too close together. We should put some blue on top. So I think we should do the top bird in the blue. So I'm going to change this where it says mom bird to the top bird. And the bird on top will be the mom bird. White out, let that dry. Okay, we'll switch that. So we're doing blues. We're gonna do this bird on top, which would be these blues here. And we will start with indigo. So it's a little tricky. There's different ways to do this. We can use all the colors throughout. We can just use for the couple darker colors on the wings and a lighter on the body. We're just going to kind of go for it and experiment. So we're going to do the wings first with this darker indigo. And I'm going to do some of this grayscale areas. I'm going to touch in this darker blue here. Maybe like, again, just in some random areas where it looks a little gray or where there's like a line here. Kind of around the base of the wing. Let's go down here, do the same thing here. We'll just kind of do the feather line. Bring down a little bit here. I'm going to go along the top of the head. I'm going to follow this V, this kind of fur here, or feathers, whatever. And for the belly, I think we won't do the dark. But I might change my mind. But let's do a little bit of these feathers. Just a little shadow. Okay, that's our indigo. Let's do the ultramarine. This is a really pretty color. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this into the wings. The very light pressure, halfway kind of over the indigo. And then kind of add in a little more, maybe upward. A little more around the base than was previously there. It is so dumping rain outside. It's really loud. Don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's practically storming out there. All right. Adding a little more just like that. Let's add a little more around his head. Really soft. We can bring it down over his face. And we can fill in a little right here. Let's add a little to the wings. I'm going to outline these feathers right here. The ultramarine. A little brighter than the indigo. All right, let's blend in down here. There we go. Okay, next let's put in the light cerulean. The light cerulean sea. We're putting in here next. I'm gonna blend into these wings. Up. Gently overlap the other colors and just start kind of working it in kind of in a non-specific pattern, but a lot of it over the kind of the top of the other feathers here. There we go. Gonna add this very gently around the face up here. And then at the bottom also kind of closing it in. It'll be a little lighter in the center of the face. We will probably end up adding another layer down here. Gonna add a little bit up here. Just gonna blend in to the chest, the line here. I'm kind of winging this pattern, so you go. Very light. Okay. Next, I want to do the Caribbean Sea. Caribbean Sea. Okay, so we're going to blend in further here, and we're going to, of course, save a little white space for our lightest color. Maybe a little room for some white. I'm going to put it at the tip of the wings and just start filling a little more tooth, blending in this blue. Okay, let's get down here. Leave a little white there for the white pencil and the last blue. Kind of just blending all the colors here. Gonna get the face. Gonna end up putting in some white there, all right. I'm gonna tip it in over here, add a little. I'm gonna go down the belly line a little there. Now I think with this one, I'm gonna outline a little because we only have one light blue left. So I'm gonna go ahead and outline the body here. I'm gonna leave the belly, I think, a little more white, but we'll see. All right. Okay. Now the powder blue. Powder blue. All right, we can finish off getting in some of this into the wings before we add in a little white. We're gonna, don't be shy about blending this blue into a little bit of everything. It's pale enough, you can almost soften up all your colors with it. Don't forget to leave a spot or two with a lot of white in it. But still make sure you get this color in. So down here, for example, I'm adding it toward the bottom, but I'm also going to tip in a little white. But I'm also putting it over the darker colors. Same here, we're going to fill this in, leave a little white around this V, almost like a collar, like a tuxedo. Add a little on the face. I think we can make the face all the way blue. Okay. The belly we're gonna fill by overlapping that color, bringing it a little into the white area. Same over here. Not all the way, we'll leave two white, like chest patches here. Here and here, equally like a chicken breast, like white right at the front. Okay, let's get over here. Just blending in this blue. Now I'm gonna get the white. Right here. One white spot there, 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 there. Right at the bottom of the wing. wings. All right. Trying to get that bend out of my paper. Take the indigo again. I can touch up a little shadows here right around this base here. Gonna touch a little bit along the side, even though we didn't originally have any there. Add a little more in. It's gonna look better when we blend. A little more along the top of the head. Okay, great. We'll put in a little ultramarine. Touch in just a little more of this, blend it into that indigo. Maybe you could stripe and mill the wing a little more. All right. Just touching along the V here, the chest to make it kind of stand out more. Blending a little bit in here, just to add a little more color. Hey buddy, I'm busy right now. Okay, we'll put in a little light cerulean C. Chest here. I'm going to touch in a little Caribean sea here and there, just a little more blue. This is going to be a really pretty bird once we blend him out. And a little more of the powder blue. Hey buddy, I'm busy. And you can almost blend around that white, create a little bit of a halo in there on the chest body, right above the white. Hey buddy, busy. Excellent. We should go ahead and blend now. I need to sharpen my white. What's up? I do think I need to add a teeny bit more of the Caribbean Sea. a little too thick right here, this blue. I need to bring in a little more, soften it a little. Make it smoother. There we go. And I'm going to take my white. And then we need to get in our blender. Okay. Let's see what happens. All right. Time to blend. Real pretty springtime colors. Glad we didn't do this blue down here. The two blues would have been too close. Okay, so we're gonna blend the belly first. Need your brush. This looks great. And pull some of that blue over to white. We'll see if we need to touch anything up with a little more color after. Let's do the chest here. There we go. Ah, sorry about that. I hit the lamp. What's up, Blaney? Brushing off your crumbs. Okay, I'm gonna get the face, the head here. Hey, buddy. Let's go down here from the white upward. All right, so let's continue. I went ahead in between recording and used my Pitt Black Artist pen to go over the letters. Probably didn't do a very great job. My hand was a little shaky. So when that dries, I can touch that up with a black pencil. There's a lot of things you can do. You can go over it with a black stickles. I also put it in for the bird's feet, then the two beaks. The eyes will have white, so I didn't do it there. So we're going to go ahead and color this bird now and this stem here, which also comes up here. And so let's do that first for this stem here. I did not write in the palette, but I will add it. So we're going to use 1097 moss green and 1005 lime peel. And it's really pretty simple. What we'll do is we will just, with the moss green, just going to put in a little bit of it. We don't want it to be too dark, right? Because we're not doing too many dark colors because it's an Easter picture. I'm just going to tap a little bit of this in here in a few spots. Here. A little bit of darker shading, but not too, not too much. I'm using a light pressure. My neighbor is doing something in his yard that's making a ton of noise. If you hear anything weird, ignore it. We're gonna do down here, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of this grayscale here. All right. Okay, it's really quite easy. Let's put in the lime peel. I'm trying not to rest my arm on here in case it's not dry all the way. In fact, I might go over it with my Tombow. I think that'll look better. So with the lime peel, I'm going to just blend this in. Lightly. Then over here too, okay, and then let's put in a little more of the moss green, just a little bit more shadows. Like that. All right. A little bit right there. And just maybe put in a little more of the lime peel. I'm not doing any white in this one. Don't feel much need. We want to really create like a little bit of a frame, so it's okay if it's doesn't have that white glow. Just make sure you get enough of the pigment down. All right. Oh, I made a mistake. I see some over here. And in fact, I think we can go forth with doing the tulips stems with this as well. Because it would be like a dark nature green. Let's just do that so it's all consistent. So just put a little at the base of the tulip and then just a little down the middle maybe. Okay, I didn't see that previously. The lime peel, let's put in a little here. We're getting to where we're gonna have to discuss the background. I hadn't originally decided when I started this picture what I want to do with the background, but this is easy coloring. So it's just gonna be a real simple, little soft touch of maybe some pan pastel or something real basic and easy. Sometimes a solid marker works. I'll have to see what the final picture looks like to fully decide. That's really all we need to do. We can blend this now. I do need to add a little sharpen to my blender. All right, so let's go ahead and blend these out. Nice firm pressure. Get that burnished in there. Gonna get this stem here, the middle, the lighter green, and the base. All right. Let's go here. Blend, and it'll bring out the yellow once you start blending these two colors. It'll look a little more yellow, which when you blend kind of an olive and a lime, which is good because it ties into our cohesive yellow theme with the background and the tulips. Retouch over here, make sure get all that gunk off. There we go. Looks good. Okay, done with those two colors. My page is folded right here. It's been bugging me. I could have bent it back, but okay, so we can work on this cute little birdie here. For this little birdie, we have, remember I was switching the birds, right? So this is mama bird, top bird. This is the mama bird. And we have pale vermilion, pink, blush pink, and salmon pink, which is almost like an orange. So I think let's group together the pale vermilion and the salmon, and then the pink and the blush pink. And because we have this pink here so close, I don't want the whole bird to look too pink. I want the bird to look more of the vermilion and the salmon, but maybe this belly to look a little pink. So we're going to use the vermilion, the salmon, I think more for this, maybe a touch of pink. So let's start with the pale vermilion. Okay. And we're going to just kind of put this in where we see a little bit of the grayscale. And the wings here. I'm gonna maybe kind of do a little bit on the cheeks. Nice peachy, dark peachy glow. And then I'm gonna kind of follow along the V here. Okay. And over here as well, we're gonna do the inside of the wing. Just do a little bit on the little arms or whatever these are here. Arm wings. I'm going to put maybe a little more kind of just in the center right here. Okay. Let's put in the salmon. See how it goes. Oh, that's not sharp, but I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to blend in. We're going to add the white, of course, too. Leave some white. So I'm going to kind of blend around the vermilion. Leave a little white like on the wing. Might touch in a teeny bit of pink. This needs to be sharpened. Because we really don't have much orange tone other than in the duck's beak. So this is a nice complement, but it's a pastel. Let's blend in softly up here. I'm going to blend right over the rosy cheek and then lighter around it. We probably will add a touch of pink, I think. over the eyes. We'll go a little bit upward from the V of the neck. Leave a good amount of white space there. We're going to touch in just a teeny bit of the lighter pink and the white. Oh, sorry, this was salmon pink I was trying to use, but now we're done. We're going to move to the blush pink. That was my bad. And not a lot of pink, just a small amount, and a little bit of the white areas. Just do it real gentle. We're not doing this chest right now or the body. Just putting some onto the wings. Leaves a little white right there, a little white above the nose. Around the cheeks here. A little white right here in the center of the wing. Maybe along the wings here. Okay, then take your white, just put in a little bit right there in the middle of the wing before we add a little more detail. And right here, and it's going to kind of blend, catch a little bit of that peachy pinky hue, make a nice pretty color. Okay, now let's go back to the pale vermilion and add in here. Add a little bit more and a little more shadow work. Okay, a little bit more of the salmon. It's okay to a little bit overlap that white area, just kind of around it. Very gently, like tinting the white almost. And then I might touch in just a small amount of the pink again. Okay, and then a little more white. I'm not going to blend until we do the belly. Just a little white here or there. Right there. Okay, so on the belly, let's do the darker pink. Kind of follow the upper body right there. I might have to touch in a tad of the salmon though, so it's not too close to the rose color. All right, I'm just going to do like a V, follow the V and go down a little on the belly. Like that. Then, actually, I think we will touch in the salmon with the pink, so it'll still look a little different. Let's blend a little bit of the salmon into that. Going down, but leave a little white there for the stomach. A little bit. Then do blush. Put a little white on the stomach here. So I'm going to actually take the white and blend the whole belly going upward, which will give it a softer look than just the blender and a different look. So we're going to blend this whole thing with white. So it's like a real pastel belly tone. Same with right there. Okay. Now I'm going to use the blender on the remainder of the bird. Make sure you don't have any green from your stems on it or your vines. Okay. I'm going to blend the middle of the wing first, and then above the face. Wherever you see the white spots, I'll blend first. Okay, let's do the whole head. Let's go kind of around the eyes. Gunk off my blender. I want to really smooth out that blush. I'm gonna touch a bit more salmon right there. It was a little too white. Nice, sweet, pale bird. All right. Might just add and then I will run the blender, I think, on the belly, just over that white, just to really soften it up nice. There you go. Perfect. And I feel like I went a little bit too over the black line. So what I would do in that case is, if I can find my micron, a black micron, it's good for really small black details. I'd do the eyebrow, go over the black eye, I'll put a little white dot underneath each. And then I'm going to go over this little line that it's too much white on it, so it looks like a dulled black line. It doesn't look quite right. You want the black lines to kind of stay black if they're going to be there. The beak, I might put a little divider right there. There's a couple little marks. So I'm going to redo the outline. And I'm going to do his little eye up here. I'll put the white in the center. We can do the duck's eye. You can also use your artist pen, but this is more able, you're able to control small areas more because it's small and really fine solid point. I want to add just a little details there. Show me where you can see that line again. Looking around. I might have messed up the mouth a little, but yeah, I think the bird looks great. Mama bird. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my green artist pen. This is leaf green. You can use any green you like, but it's felt. It's a nice solid firm point. You can also use a really sharp green pencil of your choice. That's what I'm going to do for the center part of the flowers. Gives it a nice bold pop of color. You can tell it's not pencil because it's a little more vibrant. Then you can dab it with your finger. It'll dry. If you see any spots you miss. Did I see another one? I'm going to do these little bulbs with this here, I decided. Nice spring green. It's a bright green. You can use like a Prismacolor grass green. It's a nice bright green color. I'm going to do these. Just do a solid color if you like. But this is good for little details. All right. That looks amazing for a spring picture. We're gonna move on. Oh goodness, what did I miss up here? What is that? That doesn't look like a leaf. It looks like a foot. I'm not sure. We'll get back to that. Okay. So we are done with the pinks, the vermilion. And we're going to move on to the duck now. The duck is a bit of a task. I mean, a lot of it is white. It's not that easy to color animals that are supposed to be white. I looked at a lot of pictures of lake ducks that are like the white. They have like a silvery blue tint and they're kind of cream and white if you look at like internet pictures. So those are the colors I decided. Gray, lavender, powder blue, cloud blue, and white. But I do think I want to add some cream as well. And this is more going to be for the exteriors. Just very soft, a little glow that will blend in. Going to be kind of an experiment. We will see how it all works. So I'm going to find my white and let's get started. All right, let's go ahead and work on the duck. We're going to start with the grayed lavender, and these kind of, the purpley blue is like almost gonna make like a little silver, kind of just like a gentle outline around him. And then we're gonna go into the cream and white. So it's more like a little bit of a, like a silvery tinge, you know, to her feathers, his or her feathers. So we do want to do it fairly light. So you see a little grayscale here. We want this to be really pale. So we're going to do a very light pressure. Just get in a little bit right there. See how subtle that is? We're going to just go up a little. Okay. Then let's kind of follow the body outline here. Just a light touch of this grayish lavender. Outline her around the bow here. Let's do a little bit here. So you see it's coming across as very light tint. If you look at some of these ducks in the water, or if it was like in the winter or there's no sun, you see a little bit of a silvery or a purple or even a bluish tint on them. I mean, it could be camera lights, but I saw a lot of pictures on Google that showed that look. So we're just gonna do all the little grayscale spots right now. Let's go up the neck here very gently. Really light, very light in fact. This is almost creating like an outline. You know, solid white would be kind of boring and look flat. This gives a little shadow, a little dimension to little Miss Duck. All right, so that's really all we need for now to get started. Let's move to the powder blue. Well,
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, I'm not talking to you.
Sorry.
Actually, the cloud blue. Let's do the cloud blue because I think, let me double check. I think this one, it's misleading by looking at the tip. No, I lied. We're gonna do, I was right the first time, the blue powder. I lied, the powder blue. Powder blue. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna very gently, light pressure, blend into that gray lavender just a little bit, like halfway into it, not overlap all of it, and a little bit more into the white space, not a lot. Lightly touching it on the paper for a very subtle effect. I'm going to go around these bird feathers. So I'm just doing a little bit around right here, really soft. I'm going to do a little bit on the bottom, just a little, because we'll tap in a little bit of that other blue too. Then under the bow. This helps it look more realistic, not look so flat and dull, and like it's just white paper. Okay, so we're shadowing and shading, maybe a little bit right here. Let's get a little bit down here. Pretty. A little bit here, a little bit there. A little bit over here. I think the duck's body goes. We'll just assume. All right, let's go above the face here. Very gentle shading. And the neck. Okay, just a little bit right there. And I think that's about it. I don't even know how well you can see this on camera. I can definitely see it, but it's definitely pale. Now we can do the cloud blue. Okay. Same thing, we're gonna overlap that with the other blue, lavender, and just very gently put a little bit of this color in, kind of around the other color, maybe a little bit into the edge of it. All right, so I'm gonna go in up here. Add a little bit more there, a little gentle tint of this soft blue. We're just barely touching the paper, you can see. It's cutting down on the harshness of the white paper. Okay, that's all we really need to do now. We're going to do the cream and the white. The cream, have to be careful with. We don't want it to take away this nice silvery hue. Let's try it up on the face first, or the neck. And I'm going to do it really gently, and I'm only going to kind of blend it into the edges of that powder blue. Very light. Let's get, yeah, then it's another color to help cut down the sharpness of the bright white paper, so it doesn't look like it's just a white piece of paper and that isn't colored. So we're gonna get more of this little neck here, so I can see it. It's coming along. cream color. Right, let's get over here around the tail. I'm going to go upward on the tail a little bit. So we're kind of cutting down most of the white, adding in the cream over the white. I mean, I may leave a little white, but we're gonna put the white pencil in. But the cream just cuts down on it being too white, because the ducks are, you know, they're in the water. They're gonna be a little off white. Even if they have white, they're not gonna be that clean. Water is never clean, I don't think, anywhere on the planet anymore. I'm gonna color a little bit here. Add in some of this cream. A little more on the face. I think it's safe. We can add a little more that we can actually see. Okay, I think we're safe to try the white now. Make sure there's no color on your white from a previous, whatever we did last, the bird. I'm going to sharpen it, which will get anything off. I don't see anything. Okay, so we're just going to full on use the white to blend out. We're going to add the white all in the middle in the open spaces, of course. But we want to also blend it over the cream and the blue, the silver or whatever, the gray lavender, which will just kind of like soften it, but you can still see it. It almost like looks more like it's an undertone, if that makes sense. I'm using a harder pressure. There we go. I'm just gonna get the butt here. I didn't really add much color around this other bird's head. In fact, I might want to touch it with a little bit of gray lavender right here. This little nook right here. And then maybe touch in a little bit of one of the blues. Just so there's a little contrast there, a little bit of the cream. All right. Gonna blend everything. So that's pretty much done. I mean, we can leave him like that. I want to add just a little more shadowing. I want to take that gray lavender under the neck here. Him or her. I guess it's a her. She got a pink bow. Just to give it a little more right up the top of the head. Just to give it a little more definition. Maybe right about there a little bit. Okay, let's touch in a little bit of this blue, cloud blue. Just going over the white a little, just giving a little more of a tint in a few spots. Before I might touch it with the blender, I just wanted to give a little bit more of an effect. I might use the other blue. This is the powder blue. And these are very much pastel blues. Then I'm going to touch the cream again, just a little bit around the edges, middle of the neck here, a little bit in the center, a little more on the tail maybe. All right. So we'll just touch the white in again, just in the center part, and then I'm just gonna use the blender to smooth out and kind of tie these colors together real quick. I need to turn on a different light, but so I zoomed in a little, hoping you can see the little bit of the tint in there, right? So it cuts down all that sharp kind of white, looks like it's just the paper look basically, but I didn't blend it yet. So I'm just gonna blend it mostly into the areas where we added the blue and the silver. Make sure there's nothing on here. All right. So I'm just kind of blending this out. I'm going to use, I think, the salmon color and a little bit of the blush pink for the tongue. The pink salmon we did on this bird for the duck's tongue. Yeah, so that just kind of cut it all down a little bit because you couldn't probably see the tint a lot, but it's definitely not as stark white as this. And once we put color on here, it'll look just right, obviously, because we have white and white right now. I want to go ahead and do these leaves here. For these leaves here, I have the rose leaves, light green, parrot green, cream again, and chartreuse. So I want to go ahead and do that. Okay. So let's put in, I ran out of cards and cardstock, so I can't make cards for these last couple colors. I have cream, but that's it. So you just have to kind of follow with me. But we'll be doing now the parrot green for these leaves. And I'm going to just put this parrot green in here where you see a little bit of that shadow. Just adding a little bit here, not much, just a little in there, like yonder. I think I'm going to use one different set of green for these leaves because they're all different kind of leaves and I don't like them all to be the same. Let's do the light green, which is this one, which is 920. And I'm going to blend into this green. Over that green and just a little bit on, put a little bit into the other areas here. And you do want to do pretty light on that parrot because these other colors are so much lighter. Just touch a little bit here and there. Add in, get a little bit of that color into the leaves. All right, now let's put in the cream, the yellow chartreuse. This is yellow chartreuse. And I'm going to, oh no, I broke my tip. 1 second, let me. Sharpen that back up. They're almost done. I just have to grab the background color. So we're going to add in this yellow chartreuse. See, just added a little bit and then leave some room for the cream. 914 cream. Try to touch the remainder of some of these white spots with it. And obviously we put a little bit of this cream into the duck as well. So the whole point here is for a lot of these colors to tie together. And even if they're a little bit different, they're kind of in the same color palette. Just gonna touch all over with this cream here, actually. Because I have a little parrot, or is that peacock green? I got peacock green in that one. Yeah, because I couldn't find the card, the color card. Let's go back and do a touch more of this parrot green. Want to very gently blend over that. I might have that a little bit. Gonna go over here. And now what I'm doing, I'm kind of tickle it very gently into a couple of other areas to spread a little more of the green, really light. Just kind of adding in a little more over the top of that yellow. So it's going to look like a non-specific pattern. All right, we can go now to the light green. I'm just kind of squiggling this in, trying to soften up that other green. Let's do some more of the chartreuse. Just to touch in a few areas where we want to re-brighten it up before we blend it, just to kind of create this mosaic-y leaf pattern. And lastly, I will touch it with the cream one more time. I might take that light green and just cut down a little bit if I see too much yellow. The yellow is more like an underlayer. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sharpen my blender, and I haven't figured out what this is. It almost makes me think it was an artist error. Let's look at the cover. Isn't this picture on the cover? No, it's a green. Okay. Oh, I guess it looks like a foot. It's leaves. So we're going to use, I'll just see what I can grab. We'll use some greens. Let's go ahead and blend out these leaves. Get some of that gunk off. My brush is here. I'll brush this off. All right. This feels like it's taken a long time for such an easy picture. I mean, it's just because I like a lot of variation in my color themes, and I like the special effects to really make it look nice, the special techniques and stuff. Final hard blend. Okay. That looks great. I'm happy with that. I might touch in a little bit of cream on top of that blender. Okay. Excellent. So I have here two real simple greens. Sap green light and pale sage, which I want to do on these two leaves here. So let's start with this sap green light. To kind of color in these darker gray borders and little shadows on here. And just kind of go upward a little. Just real easy, just two colors this time. Maybe we'll do a little white spot on there. Oh, there's another leaf here, so I'm gonna add in this onto the palette once we're all done here. A little darker right here. Okay, this is pale sage. Might leave a little room for a white spot, maybe right there. If you take your white, put in just a little bit right there. That'll give us a little bit to work with. Same here, I'll do like a little white right there, maybe. All right, so go back here to the sap green light. Let's go up here. Just adding a little more shadow. And then I'm just gonna take the pale sage, just tap in a little, soften that extra green we just added. Then I'm gonna put in some of the white. Here. Yeah, that's really all we need. I'm gonna use the blender again, because that one is a nice little bit of white, which is a nice accent to the duck, which has white. So let's go ahead and blend right around the white area. Ah, too sharp. That's why we don't do sharp blenders. You want them flat. Gonna try to blend. Get the gunk off. Yeah, what are you doing? My cat's being nutty. Terrorizing me. Okay. There, that's all we need for those little leaves. I'm almost tempted. I'm gonna take this color, the sap green light. I'm gonna do some up here of this little thing. Might even touch it with, well, I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of the parrot green. You can do whatever color you like. I'm just trying to put a little green in there. I don't think it really matters. These are just leaves. I'm gonna take the cream. Just color this in. Use a harder pressure. I don't think you really need to blend anything. I mean, I guess we could because we did put a couple colors in there. Just smooth it out a little bit. Okay. That is perfect. Need to touch it up right there. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit with that in the center there. Okay. So I think we can officially do the little mouth on our duck. I do want to take my black, this is a Tombow dual brush pen, it's black, and I'm going to darken up the duck's eye, the nose hole, and then the little eyebrow here. Maybe do that little bit of black right there, a little bit of black right there, and I didn't think of going over it with this one. I don't think I need it. It's gonna bleed through. No, it's not, because it's water-based, so they don't generally bleed through. I can, this is a little darker than my Pit pen. I can darken this up a little. I'm just gonna go over the letters. Grab your salmon pink. No, buddy, not right now. No. No, do you mind whatsoever? Jump down. You're lucky my hand didn't just go straight across. And I did a little. I messed it up right there. Cat drama. Cat drama. So yeah, I have a hard time tracing letters. My hand gets like shaky. I don't know. Probably just me. How can I fix this? Make it thicker maybe. There we go. So you don't even have to do this. Now it's like I feel like I have to fix it because my Pit pen wasn't quite black enough. All right. There we go. Okay. So grab the salmon and the blush pink. Should work for the tongue. I'm gonna grab a couple pan pastels. I think this is let's see. Wrong color. Where is the salmon pink? Da, da. So in looking at it, I'm so torn. I feel like I want to use just a yellow, light yellow marker for the background, and that's it. Or a combo of a yellow and a pink would be nice too. To think. This is the blush pink. I'm just going to put in a little pink, very light under the tongue here. I'm going to touch on the salmon pink. I'm going to touch on the light peach. I go back to the blush pink. Add again a little of the salmon pink. Oh, I'm so torn on this background. Da, da. A little more pink right here. A little more of the peach. You don't need a blend or anything, just kind of blend it all together. I think that's sufficient. It's too light, just add a little bit more pink right there. One thing I want to do is you want to use a white paint gel pen or marker, something like that. These are my Arteza white gel pens. You can use, I do it on my hand because the oil from my hand gets it going. Just to dab in like a little white onto the bird's eye. Ah, darn it, it was clunky. A little bit in the mouth. I'm gonna do a little bit right in the middle of the eye, like a white dot. Darn, I'm gonna have to, oh, that first little bit got clunky. I'm gonna have to go around that with a micron. I'm going to do a little white mark on the edge of the beak right there. A little dab of white on each eye. And I'm gonna do a little white polka dots on the inside here of this bulb. Just brings in some of the white theme. Gives it a little character, little white dots. I'm gonna dot the tip of each little flower piece there. Tempted to add a little bit of white on the egg, but I don't think that will go very well. A little gel, then rub it in. Since I need to fix his face, the bird's eye, I'm going to take my micron, try to re-outline it in black. Oh, bloody heck. I think I messed that up. Re-outline it, a little black right there. You can do the black dot right in the center of the eye to fix that. Okay, I'm gonna go over duck's eye right there. Oh, I had a, okay. Back over the duck's eye. Right there, maybe that little center part on the tongue. These little details really do make a difference. Okay, I'm gonna go grab something for the background here. I think since this tutorial is on the basic tier without, you know, it's easy coloring, we're gonna stick with just a simple marker background. I mean, you can leave it white, that's completely fine as well. I actually grabbed two Ohuhu yellows, Lemon Chiffon and Primrose, and I'm gonna try to just put those in. The risk is always if you run out of ink, the risk is oftentimes that you now have to pick another color and then it throws everything off. Let me get a divider page. You definitely need to protect the inside page. If you don't have these, just pick a pale yellow, really pale, like what's in the center or more pale. So just do like a real soft background. I'm actually going to do two colors though and try to kind of blend them. So I'm going to take the chisel nib on my lemon chiffon. That's V030. This is from my Honolulu Ohuhu 320 set, which you can buy on the Ohuhu website. Sometimes you can find this one in some of the medium sets, or you can just use a similar yellow alcohol marker, preferably a better quality one so it doesn't fade too much. So I'm going to kind of try to do like the corner like this and see if I can blend some of that light yellow into the center. So I'm going to go like this. I'm just going to fill it in. Down to the side here. And then I'm just going to see what happens if I try to, it might be too light. I really don't have anything else that would work. This is the Primrose. It should work if you really work it hard at the end of the other color. You can soften it so it's a nice enough transition. You can, yeah, this almost matches what we have on the inside of the circle. Trick is whenever you have to work fast in these Amazon basic paper books if you're blending colors. So they're so pale you get away with it, so you can pull a little of this yellow into the Primrose so you get a pretty soft transition point. I think that's fine. There, so you almost have a matching halo here to what's in here. In fact, that leads me to another idea, but we'll get to that. So just do one small section at a time. Let's do down here. So I'm going to go again at a diagonal. I'm going to go like that. I have to add a little more before I blend in the other color. Start bringing it like straight like that down. And then going upward. Okay, then grab your Primrose. Blend right overlap where that color ended before it dries. Right on the transition point. Pull down some of the yellow, the darker yellow, into it. Okay, I think that looks good. All right, this is the easiest background you can do. We'll do the top. So it's gonna be harder to do at this angle, but I'm gonna do like this. Make a corner, okay, and fill it in. You always fill in more later. What matters is that you blend. I can't turn this the way I need to for my hand to get across the top because of the camera, so it's a little awkward. Okay, let's grab. Let's go ahead and put this right on in here. Blend it straight on in. This almost looks white, like a tint of grayish yellow to it, but it works well. Okay. Oh goodness, I got some of that blue. Okay, like almost lost power there for a minute. I'm bringing this color down. Try not to catch much pencil hue. It is waxy. You don't want to pull that into your background. Trying to pull down some of this yellow because the transition was a little harsher here. Okay, let's take our chiffon and continue our border down just to this tulip. And the primrose. And alcohol markers aren't the fanciest background, but it does the job, especially if you use two and you do this little kind of halo effect. Might have to use a little pencil on it when it dries, which I sometimes do as well. Let's get right there. Still trying to pull down some of this color. Okay. It'll dry and fade a little. And a little bit more here. Okay, so we have this corner left. I'm gonna go like that, like this. With the lemon chiffon, fill it in. Okay, now our primrose color. Gonna pull that up here. Okay, excellent. I wonder if the inside of that bird's mouth should not be white. Maybe I need to put a little pink in there. Let's go straight across. I am detail oriented, even though this is simple, easy coloring. I do like, as far, you know, simple, easy coloring books, I do like to do a lot of detail, take my time with blending, because I like a lot of variation and richness in my pictures. You can tell. I'm going to retouch this here. Okay. So that gives us this little glow halo in here, and then we get the kind of glow around here as well. When it dries, you can do a little pencil over this white pencil over this lighter glow area to help it look a little more white like this one does. We can go over this if we wanted with a little bit of that primrose right there, but it's not easy to go over pencil, so maybe not. In fact, Yeah, so that's a basic or background. So for example, is this one already dry? Yeah, so if we go to our white pencil, there's no green on it, assuming. You can very gently put in some white over this if you want to whiten it up, so to speak. I'm doing gentle, but there. See how that works? Down here, we can put in a little bit of that. Make sure it's dry enough. Right here. So basically the alcohol from the marker evaporates and the color is what remains. So once the alcohol evaporates and it's dry. Might even touch some of the cream over this yellow to soften it. Let's get some down here. The white should be dry enough after a few minutes. I have here the cream we could use to blend a little of the cream over that lemon chiffon, which will dull it out a little and blend it into the white a little better. Mostly at the transition line, if it feels like that transition line was too harsh between the two yellows. Sorry, I'm jiggling my arm if the camera's shaking. So I'm just gonna kind of go over both, like overlap the white and this yellow. See if I can cut down the sharpness of that yellow, the first yellow, the darker yellow marker. And this helps tie together the white and the cream and makes it look nice and pastel and softer. An all over nice effect, I think. Excellent. A little bit of that lighter and a little bit of this yellow. Blended together. Pencil does not go well over water-based markers, but it does go well over dried alcohol markers. Excellent. The only one that's bugging me is right here. A little too much yellow. we have finally a finished, pretty Easter picture. Just cutting down a little bit of that white and primrose right here. I think it's beautiful. It's perfect for spring. Thank you so much for sticking with me on this, you guys. Please go to the Facebook group and share your results. Coloring Oasis Adult Coloring Community. If you're following my YouTube, you're probably already in the Facebook group. I'd love to see what you did. Anyway, I will add in these last few additions onto the palette. And I'll see you in another easy tutorial, unless you want to upgrade your membership to the more advanced pictures. And I will see you there as well. Take care.